you tonight? My name is Heather Duncan and I am the artist with Duncan House Creative. Tonight I'm going to go over a tutorial with you on how to paint this lovely rainbow. Alright? Our rainbow tonight is neutral, but if you don't have neutral colors, you can totally do the same technique with any colors that you have at your house, okay? So don't feel tied to these colors, but we are going to be using our neutral palette tonight to do our rainbow, so I'm so glad that you're here with me, and let's jump in. To begin, let's go over our materials. So I have this wonderful, it's a palette by Art Philosophy. It's called Complexion. I love it. It's this little tin. It has this really cute little loop on the back of it too, so if you ever wanted to like hold it and paint, you could too, but it opens up and it has these lovely neutral colors. Again, the name of the palette is Complexion, but I adore it. It also comes with this cute little card where you can test all of the colors, which actually comes in super handy. I really appreciate that. I'm also using a pencil, some watercolor paper. This is Canson watercolor paper, and you'll need a watercolor brush. I'm using a round 6 brush, and additionally you will need some clean water and a paper towel. Okay, I also used a little bit of washi tape to hold my paper down, but that's only if you want to use that. All right, let's go over the steps we're going to take to do our painting tonight. Okay, to do our rainbow, we're actually going to do a couple of things strategically. What I usually do is first I paint this first arch right here, the first kind of rainbow line, so to speak. Then after I paint that rainbow line, I come in and paint this middle section. Okay, then thirdly, after I paint that middle section, I go over the rest of the rainbow arches. Okay, I forgot one more step. Very beginning, we're going to take our pencil and we're actually going to use a straight edge, and we're going to draw a straight edge on our paper with our pencil first. That's actually our first step, okay? But we'll go over those steps as we do our piece together. This is a super easy project. It does take a little bit of precision and a pretty good brush, so you want to make sure you have a pretty adequate brush to do this project, okay? But it's really easy, and I think that you'll really like the results. For our first step, I'm going to take a straight edge. I'm just using paper. If you want to get out a ruler, you can totally get out a ruler and do this, but I'm just going to use a straight piece of paper, and I'm ever so lightly coloring or drawing a pencil line. Do not do that heavy, okay? If you do that heavy, your watercolor paper is pretty thick, and it will leave an indent in your watercolor paper, and you don't want that indent there, okay? You want to be able to erase the line and pretend that it never existed, okay? And then I realized too, I said I had a 6 brush. I'm actually using a size 4 brush, okay? I grabbed the wrong brush. I'm actually going to use the size 4 brush. All right, to get started, we're going to paint that initial arch of our rainbow. And to do that, I am going to, I'm trying to see what color I want to use here. I think I'm going to use this 95 color, which is redwood. I'm going to use my redwood color. And I'm just going to wake up my paints, which basically just means I'm going to get my brush good and wet, and I'm going to add water to the paint palette here, and I'm just going to really wake up that paint and get it nice and moist, okay? That just helps our paint flow on our paper. If we don't get that paint really good and awake, then we could end up with like a very dry brush. We don't want it. We don't want that. Okay, my brush is wet, and I'm gonna go in, and I'm starting just right here on this line, and I'm gonna try to stay above the line. I'm going to paint a straight line up, pretty straight line, okay, and then I'm going to bring it around, okay, And when I bring it around, I'm really being wider than you think. You don't want to be super narrow. You want to be pretty wide. Okay? And then I'm just going to color that in to where my lines are straight. And you can come up here if you want to, just very, very gently, and kind of fill that in. Now it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. We're not looking for perfect, okay? Now I'm going to fill in the center here. And I'm going to wake up my pink. And I want a pretty good color on this pink, so I'm going to get this really good and awake. Okay. And I'm going to come under here, and I'm just going to kind of trace along the lines where my brown was. And this pink is actually called Lemonade, which I think is really cute. Someday I want to have the job where I name paint colors. I think that would be a really fun job to have. Okay, so I created this middle section, and then I'm just going to go along my pencil line and close it. And I'm keeping my brush really saturated, okay? Just really, I have found that that's the key to watercolor, is making sure your brush is just really good and saturated. And I'm just gonna fill that in. Good. It's a little bit bigger than my past ones. Let me show you. Oh yeah, it's definitely bigger than my past ones. So this will be interesting to see how this turns out, but that's okay. Every one of them can be different. I'm totally okay with that. What's really cool about this too, now I'm gonna go around my rainbow here. And I just I kind of start here and I just go straight up, and then I begin to curve, okay? I just take my line and go straight up, and then I begin to curve. What's really great about this technique here with this rainbow is you could do a lot with this. You could do like if you had a bigger piece of paper, you could do a like 3 rainbows, or you know, you could do different color rainbows, things like that, after you kind of get the feel for the technique. Okay, after that I'm gonna do, let's see, I kind of want to do this mustard color. I think I'm trying to figure out which color it is. I think it's this color right here. I could just pick up the little pots and see. These are called paint pots, I think. I actually don't know the terminology, but I'm gonna wake this paint up. We're just gonna go with it. Whatever color this is, we're going with it. And we're just going to paint. Okay, I'm gonna start it there on my line, and then press down, go straight up, and then begin to turn. Okay, go straight up, and then begin to turn. And then I kind of come in here and clean up that end. Okay, straight up, and then I'm turning. Notice how my brush is just really saturated with that paint. And you don't have to color or feel tied to these same colors. If you want to do a different variation of colors, feel free. This is just kind of what I leaned into. Okay, there we go. And straighten that up a bit. And if you look at this really closely, it's a bit wonky, and that's completely okay. I don't want you to feel too much pressure, you know? Anytime we start feeling pressure when we're doing artwork, it just takes the joy out of it, and we don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with a darker brown. I just did kind of 2 light colors. So I'm thinking, okay, I need a little bit of a darker color here. So coming in with a darker brown. And it's gonna come around here. And then come down. And we kind of want to just pull that down in a straight line. We just want to kind of clean that up as we come down to it and make sure our edges are straight at the bottom. Okay. Perfect. Ah, it's looking so good. All right, now we're going to come in with a light color again, which is this peach color, which I think is called Peach Cobbler. Yes. Again, so cute, the names that they have. And we're gonna come up. Ooh, got a little thick there, but that's okay. And around. And then I'm gonna come in here and just kind of clean this up right here. This got a little bit thick, but this would make a really cute like little girls, like a baby girl nursery, or I was even thinking like a card or something would be pretty with this. Okay, and then I'm gonna come and make this line straight down here. Ta-da! And then we're gonna do one more, and then we're done. You're done with your very first rainbow. Yeah, it looks so good. It looks so, so good. And every time I do it, it looks just a little bit different, and that's perfectly fine. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Come up. The side, and this can be, if you're stressing out because you feel like this is pretty tedious, you can do it, I promise. I give you an extra sheet of paper in your art kit just in case. Just to take the pressure off. Also, this paper is super cheap. You should pick some up at like Walmart or Hobby Lobby. I don't know if Hobby Lobby sells Canson, but I know Michael's does. I have found the cheapest places to buy Canson paper is at Walmart, actually. It's pretty cheap. And we're done! Ah, it looks so good. Looks awesome, guys. Okay, now we're gonna let this dry. And then I'm going to erase the lines, but I'll show you some finished products here, okay? Here's two of my earlier ones. Wouldn't this look so cute if you did like 3 on top of each other? Wouldn't it look so cute? Okay, that's it for a tutorial today. I hope you had so much fun. It's so relaxing to be here with you. Wish I was there with you on the other side of this camera. Will you please, please, please share with me what you've done? I would love to see it. I would love to celebrate your accomplishments. And remember, we're just doing this to enjoy ourselves, to relax, to de-stress in today's culture, whatever's going on today. Who knows what's going on the day you're watching this. But just thank you for being here with me and sharing this space. I will see you next time.